Everybody's going to tell you the new healthy habit that you need to add to your life, and in this video I'm going to do the opposite. I'm actually going to share 14 healthy habits that I ditched in my everyday routine, and I've seen incredible results since doing so, because sometimes it's not about adding something new, but it's about removing something that isn't serving you any longer. Habit number 1, overdoing cardio. I was the type of person that would do an hour of cardio after every single workout. I don't even know what was going through my brain at that point. I thought that it was going to help me in my heart health and all this other stuff, and I honestly let the internet get the best of me with that one. And I realized that number 1, my body was screaming at me by the end of it. Number 2, I was exhausted, and number 3, my results were completely plateauing. And now, since then, and being a little more knowledgeable about my body and my hormone health, I focus a lot more on shorter, intentional bursts of cardio, also low intensity cardio. I love going on my walks. It clears my head, calms my nervous system, and in general has just left me a lot less stressed in life. Habit number 2. Eating healthy but not eating enough. In full transparency, I was tracking my calories and every little morsel that came into my body through an app, and that's something that I do not recommend you do. Turns out I was malnourished. Makes sense. I was sluggish, I was tired, I was overtraining, not fueling my body in the proper way. So I got a dietitian, went to the doctors, and was like, I need to heal my relationship. I don't want to feel like this for the rest of my life. And since then, I've put up a lot more intention into what I am eating, healing from the inside out, healing my gut, learning about nutrition, getting enough protein, fat, and carbs to sustain me through my workouts. And I feel so much better. It's great to be able to even talk about this now. And this is something I will definitely release a video on later on, talking about my journey with all that, because it's a heavy topic. And if you are somebody that is struggling with that, just know that it does get better. I know it might not seem like it doesn't, but do not feel ashamed to ask for help, okay? People are there for you, and I am here for you because I have experienced it. Habit number 3, obsessing over every step count. I would track on my smartwatch my 10,000 steps a day because everybody online told me I needed to hit my 10K or 15K steps a day in order to be healthy. And when I didn't hit it, I would feel like I was a failure. And that's something that I know was a mindset thing. And I just aim to move every hour. I aim to walk around, get up. I go for my morning walks. Sometimes I'll go for some later in the afternoon walks. My goal is to honestly just go for a walk in a day. And I focus less on the arbitrary number of a step count and more on just being consistent with movement. And it's honestly felt a lot better. I'm not putting as much pressure on myself, and I'm just allowing myself to live. Habit number 4, drinking only water and cutting everything else out. Hydration is key, but honestly, I took it a little too far. It was very much like I only drink water and I do not allow myself to drink anything else. To this day, I don't really drink soda in general, but I was hard, firm against no caffeine. Don't even know why. I think it's because my mom got migraines when she wouldn't have caffeine when I was younger, so then I associated that. But I started drinking coffee when I went abroad to Europe and traveled because I needed to power through some of those days where I wasn't getting any sleep. And I was like, this is a game changer. And so occasionally now I'll indulge in some caffeine. And honestly, moderation is better than that restriction because your body is going to learn to balance things a lot better. And I never understood moderation until I started really listening and being in tune with myself. Popping in real quick just to let you know, I'm not going to ditch you, and I don't think you should ditch me. So you should subscribe and stick around on my channel if anything in this video is resonating with you. But enough self-promo, let's get back to the video. Habit number 5, doing a new trendy workout every week. Chasing the new workout trend, sure, it can be fun, but it's not sustainable for long, so you gotta find a form of movement that actually works for you. And for me, I stuck with weightlifting for a while, and then I started chasing after that running because that was the new trend. And I did love running, and I still do, but I think I'm switching a little more back to weightlifting now, and it's just finding something that is consistent and sticking with it, things that you really enjoy, and if you don't enjoy it, then switch it up. There are so many different forms of exercise out there. You can try every little bit. I have dipped my toes into quite literally every aspect, and I like them at different stages in my life, and it's okay to swap. Habit number 6, skipping rest days. I would skip rest days pretty often. To be quite honest, I thought doing more was better for me, but it honestly made my body worse because I would end up getting injured like I am currently. I have a little bit of a back flare up because I didn't take rest, and resting is arguably more important than those training days because it gives your body body the chance and opportunity to rebuild, to heal, to recover from all of this work that you have been doing, from all the stress and strain that you've been putting it through. I used to have a couple friends where we would enable each other because we were like, we hate rest days, we hate rest days. That was all in our mind. And I will tell you, like, don't listen to them. Rest days are super important. You're not being lazy. You are taking care of yourself, and they are a part of the training plan. Okay. Habit number 7, measuring progress only by the scale. I prefer to measure my progress by the strength that I have, the endurance that I have, and the energy that I show up in my everyday life with. The number on the scale does not mean anything. Okay. It really doesn't mean anything. And since I have let that go, my life has felt so much better. Habit number 8, strict meal timing. I used to plan my meals out and eat them at the exact same time every day, thinking that's what I needed to do to heal my relationship with food. But it actually turns out that listening to your body and your hunger cues is a lot more sustainable than trying to time and plan everything out. Not everything needs to be on a plan, and it's made life a lot easier too. Habit number 9, avoiding all fat. I was one of those people that thought fat was the enemy, but it turns out that healthy fats are actually super important for your health, your hormones, your energy, and honestly, even weight management. Now, I'm having half an avocado every single day, and I love my ice cream as well. So it's all different forms of fat that I am now like, okay, you know what? We're foregoing all that negativity in the past of brainwash Dana, and now we're great. Habit number 10, drinking protein shakes 24/7. I love my protein shakes, don't get me wrong, but I try to limit them a lot more now because the processed protein just makes me get an appointment with the bathroom a lot more often than eating whole foods and prioritizing protein that way. So I really try to focus on my chicken breast, my ground beef, stuff like that, real food that makes me feel a lot better than eating any of the processed and synthetic protein powders. Habit number 11, comparing myself to everybody else. Scrolling through Instagram and comparing my body, my progress, myself to influencers whose full-time jobs are quite literally to exercise and look a certain way was not sustainable at all, and just further put me into a spiral of a negative relationship with my body. So since then I've ditched that and I've stopped looking at that kind of stuff. I've unfollowed and unsubscribed from that notion and focused a lot more on myself, healing my internal thoughts and all that kind of stuff. And life's been so much better since then. Habit number 12, working out while sick or exhausted. One time I ran 5 miles while I had acute pneumonia because I didn't want to be sick anymore. Make that make sense. Working out while exhausted and tired would only just make me feel so much worse. I thought it would make me feel better and I would just push through because I was like, you know what? I gotta be consistent. I gotta have the Goggins mentality. It's all in my head. It wasn't in fact all in my head. It was all in my chest with phlegm and everything else. So don't do it when you're tired or exhausted. Just take the extra couple days to rest. You will bounce back 100 times better than if you would push through. Habit number 13, obsessing over perfect form 100% of the time. I did want every rep to be perfect, so much so that I would hyper fixate and focus on every little minute movement, and I would be in the gym for like 2 hours and there's no reason for me to be there that long. And I stopped letting go of the perfectionist mentality and started just commending myself for showing up, for being there and doing what I could do. Sure, I would focus on form as best as possible, but not hyperfixating on it as much because that is just, why do I need to think about it that much? Like, I really don't need to put that much brain power into it. I just need to pay attention a little bit more and just be okay with not doing everything perfect. Habit number 14, punishing myself for cheats. I would feel so guilty if I had a night where I ate too much food and then the next day I would go to the gym and do extra cardio because I thought that I needed to work off all the extra calories that I ate or whatever. And it was just a horrible cycle of guilting myself nonstop for indulging a little bit in even the tiniest little cookie. So now I just treat myself a lot more kind. I allow myself to have the French fries when I go out to eat with my family. I allow myself to eat the cookies when I am feeling like I want a cookie. And it's not something that I am restricting anymore. And it's honestly been super great not restricting because I don't feel the urge to binge the entire sleeve of cookies. No, instead I'm comfortable with having 1, with having 2, maybe 3 if I'm feeling a little crazy, but it's not something that I'm stuck in this cycle with anymore. So not guilting myself and having a lot more compassion has been essential in healing my relationship with food and workouts. and exercise, and myself, and everything in this world. So there you have the 14 healthy habits that I've ditched out of my life, and I'm curious to know, are you currently doing any of these healthy habits? Do you have those mindsets, or have you ditched some of them? Let me know in the comments, and hey, if you're interested in fitness, lifestyle, nutrition, self-development, productivity, and all that jazz, then I do encourage you to stick around because you're so awesome. I'm so awesome. So subscribe and let's be awesome together. Hey there, got another awesome recommendation for you right here. YouTube is actually also recommending it to you, so you can't argue with the algorithm. They know you're gonna like it, and I know you're gonna like it too. So watch it, and I'll see you in the next one.